get up and dash 100 meters and I would eat up the competition. It's just non-existent. I kick my feet up. Thought I was passing till I got blasted.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. Now we got to discuss AEW Winter is Coming from December the 15th, 2021. Featuring the epic match, Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page. So, Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page went to a 1 hour draw. 1 hour draw. And it is universally praised by the wrestling intelligentsia as probably the best wrestling match that has ever taken place on American TV. Which, how many times have we heard that this year in terms of AEW? I mean, every match that they have that is marginally good is the best match that's ever occurred on American television. They don't know how silly they sound when they keep doing that stuff. So, what do I think? I think that the match was good, but it didn't need to be 60 minutes. Now, here's the issue that I have with not just this match, but all the matches of its kind. Because the independents, again, they love this kind of stuff. Old school Ric Flair and Steamboat. Hey, those guys wrestle for 40 minutes to an hour. We need to do it too. It's like, yeah, but you ain't Ric Flair. You ain't Steamboat. Now, Danielson is the closest you're going to get. Danielson is as close as you're going to get. He's tremendous. And his work in this match was very good. Very good. But they still did a lot of indie stuff in this match that makes no sense. Danielson took a power driver on the ring apron and was up 3 minutes later. Hangman Page bladed in this match. And he fell through a table in this match. Neither one of those things ended the match. So it just kind of saying like, well, we're just going to keep doing stuff. And then we're going to leave all the drama at the end, of course, once the time limit really kicks in. Then we're going to do our dramatics and, put some emphasis on individual moves and big moves and submissions and stuff like that. But my issue here, my problem with these long matches is that they're Oscar bait matches. I don't know if you guys are familiar. I'm pretty sure. What am I talking about? Y'all are normal people. You know what Oscar bait means. When people go out and make these movies, and they make these movies and they're like an hour and 30 minutes, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. And their point is to be super soaked in drama so that it appeals to the Oscar crowd, the people who care about that kind of stuff. And then they will praise it as one of the best movies of all time. It'll be one of the greatest films that was ever recorded. They will talk about it because that's who it's for. That's what these matches are all about. These matches are all for the wrestling intelligentsia and all the nerds who watch New Japan and all that kind of stuff. For average Joes, most of them probably tuned out 20 minutes into this match. There was no end in sight. Like, I legit, was kind of like, I'm just sitting here like, I knew that if it went 30, it was going to go the whole way. And, I didn't want to guess it, but when we was creeping up on 30, I'm like, they going Broadway. They going Broadway. And everybody wants to lean on Ric Flair did it. So-and-so did it. I'm like, it's not that world anymore, man. This is nationwide television. Like, there's a reason why people stopped doing that stuff. There was a reason people stopped doing these super long matches. But the match was good. I will never watch it again because it's too long. This is what I was trying to tell people. This is what I tell New Japan fans all the time. Back when I used to actually converse with them. Now I kind of really don't even engage. When you're trying to get somebody to like something that you like, you have to consider how much time needs to be invested before it clicks, right? I always use my ex-girlfriend as a good example. She was the kind of girl that if you liked something, she would give it a chance, right? She didn't like wrestling. But she would give it a chance. And she liked WrestleMania. Like, she would watch WrestleMania and be good. Because WrestleMania is a smorgasbord. It has a lot of 100 different things in it. If she wanted to watch wrestling and I sent her this match, she would look at it, see that it's an hour, and not watch it. Because that's what most average people will do. Most average people, if you show them that this match is 60 minutes, don't even tell them that there is no winner. Just tell them that this match is 60 minutes. That's an hour of their life they have to dedicate to this one match. Why would they watch this match? I used to tell people that all the time when they used to try to get me to watch New Japan. Go watch this Kenny Omega and Okada, they wrestle for an hour. I'd be like, bro, you're asking me to invest an hour into somebody I really don't like. Or somebody I'm marginally like. Even if I liked Okada as much as you do, this match is an hour. Like if I was trying to get, and like I said, my ex-girlfriend, for starters, I have to know who she is. That's a little bit different. You know, I know she's silly. What got her into wrestling? You probably hate it. Santino Marella. She liked the Cobra. She liked the power walking. She liked the humor. That's really what got her into watching it. She watched it for the silly antics, not for the matches. If a guy dared wrestle for an hour, she probably would have fell asleep and then cussed me out for saying, why did you waste all my time for putting this match on for an hour? It's not a movie, dog. It's a wrestling match. It doesn't need to be an hour. No matter how good it is, it likely does not need to be an hour. So that's my opinion. You know, that's my thing. Great match. Did it need to be an hour? No. Will it gain new fans? No. Because you're asking people to watch a match that is 1 hour long. They're not going to do it. You already have to like these guys in order to think this match is awesome, super duper amazing. To buy into this Oscar bait stuff, you have to already be in that clique. It's the same thing when they make these garbage movies with women running barefoot through lilies and all this kind of crap. And then these movies win 700 Oscars, but it makes $100,000 at the box office. Because the average Joe looks at that and says, it's boring. This is boring. Even if it's not boring, they're not going to watch it. Because they don't see how they can invest 3 hours into your story. It's that simple. My thing is I want to help AEW grow. 1 hour matches ain't going to do it. It's just, once more, placating the audience that's already there. It does nothing to gain new viewers. On top of the fact that it ended in a draw. That's on top of it. You once again have baited people with Bryan Danielson, getting him into the ring, building this up as a big match, and then you fuck everybody at the end because there's no winner. Oh, but it's better than a disqualification or a count out. Somebody wins on a disqualification or a count out. Nobody wins in a draw. We all lost. Everybody who dedicated an hour of their life to this match for there to be no winner. Everybody lost. You dedicated an hour into the movie and they said, come back later for the completion of this story. Huh? At least end on something good. And I think they did. When Bryan Danielson got hit with the buckshot lariat and then he kind of rolled away and the bell rang, they fixed the problem with Omega and Danielson. My problem with Omega and Danielson, not only because the match was a Broadway, again, that match probably didn't need to be 30 minutes, but 30 minutes is not nearly as bad as an hour. But they fixed that problem because Hangman clearly was about to win. So now they have this story going forward that Hangman had him beat. That's a good thing. But I'm a wrestling fan. If we're trying to get more viewers on this show, that's not going to do it. And that includes lapsed wrestling fans. Because people aren't going to say, well, I stopped watching wrestling, man, because there ain't no more hour-long Broadways, dog. I always loved the goddamn Steamboat and Flair Broadways, dog. Like, nah. They left because there was no Stone Cold Steve Austins, no Rocks, no larger-than-life personalities. You're not selling me on this. And they didn't even do a video package or something like that to promote this match before it happened. It just happened. And then it was over. And then they didn't talk about it again. They just moved on. So it's like they memory hold it right after it occurred. Look, man, I love Bryan Danielson. He's tremendous. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Maybe not, I wouldn't say of all time. Not yet. He's getting close, though. He's getting into that Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, I will watch anything with him in it. But just like I don't watch Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels again, because I'm not dedicating an hour of my time to that, I would never dedicate another hour to watching Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson. I would never watch this match again. I would rather this match been 25 minutes and whatever happens, happens. I would rather Danielson have lost in 18 minutes than go an hour and draw. That's how much I don't like that finish. I would have rather Danielson got beat in 10 minutes and made Hangman look like he was a world beater than for them to go an hour. I just don't see that. And there's only so many times you can pull this trigger. They've done it twice already in the span of, 3 months? Is it every time you're going to put Danielson in a position where he wrestles the champion, he's going to get a time limit draw? Whatever, Match was good. It was a good match. I enjoyed it for what it was. I will never watch it again, though. Do I think it's one of the best matches that ever occurred on American television? Again, no. Because rewatchability is part of what makes a match very, very good. I'm just not interested in the Oscar bait. That's, it's going to be match of the year in the Observer. Like, come on. That's why you do this, to get match of the year in the Observer. Not to, gain new viewers, not to expose new characters, not to, raise the stock of your profile or your company, to sell more t-shirts or tickets or something like that. And you know what? Good on AEW for appealing to their demographic. But when I'm not in their demographic and I don't care about a match being 40 minutes, let alone 60, I don't care to really watch a match that's over 30 minutes. I have to really like the guys involved, which is why you get over, Flair and Steamboat, because it's Flair and Steamboat. You gain a reputation. Then you can eat up as much time as you want. Hangman Page ain't got that kind of reputation with me where I'm willing to invest an hour of my life into one match that he did. Sorry, no. I don't fuck with him like that. I don't know him like that. We ain't close like that. I'm not gonna look. I think I just did a video. I'm not sure which, because I talk a lot, where I talked about Shawn Michaels, who I fucking love. He did a 45-minute Hell in a Cell match. It's the worst match he's ever done, outside of that shit in Saudi Arabia. It's the worst match he's ever done. Why? Doesn't take you 45 minutes to have a Hell in a Cell match. You did the shit because you could. It's self-indulgent. You ate up way too much time. And at some point, you're just boring. Okay? You lose the big fight feel, and it becomes, we're going to drag everybody along. Like I said, I felt like I had been kidnapped for an hour or held hostage watching this match. It went from, this match could be pretty enjoyable. I like this entrance. I like the intros, where, Danielson's toying around, playing in the ropes. And I knew they was going to go long when he started doing that. There was no sense of urgency at the beginning. And I was like, they're about to go long. And I was like, if they go 30, they go in the whole hour. Sure as shit, they went the whole hour. But it is what it is, man. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I will never watch this match again. Going on to the second thing. Adam Cole and the Young Bucks called the best friends, the morons, said that when are they going to learn? Challenged them to a 10-man tag, or was it a 6-man tag? It was, I don't know. It was everybody was challenging everybody to 6-man tags and 10-man tags and 15-man tags. And I'm going to be honest, dog. After I saw that 1 hour match, I was burnt for the rest of the show. I really had no energy for the rest of this show. The rest of this stuff just kind of existed for me. So I'm sorry if I'm not as accurate as I usually could be. But I just got held hostage for an hour by Hangman Page and Bryan Danielson. So, excuse me, I needed some water. I need to use the bathroom. All I heard was the fucking kazoo going off backstage. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? You got Adam Cole sitting here talking about calling somebody else a moron, and there's fucking kazoo music playing. I'm just like, horse shit, man. Like, what is this? What is this? Everything that involves these guys is goofy beyond belief. Goofy. It's not good. But Adam Cole said he had a Christmas present for the best friends and all those guys. I don't know who they fighting, man. I can't imagine they still fighting the best friends, but who else would they be talking about? The Christmas gift is likely to be Kyle O'Reilly, right? Okay, we all agree. The thing about the whole Kyle O'Reilly thing is that to me it seems like Tony Khan's idea is to just do what works. So if it's like, well, what were you doing before? And it was like, oh yeah, we were Undisputed Era before. It was the three of us, and we were, pretty cool dudes, kind of like, jocks, that kind of ran around NXT, and we beat people up, and we were very cool, And Tony Khan was like, okay, great, we'll just do that. I want to have my own version of Undisputed Era, and we'll call it Undisputed or Indisputable Era. I don't know. The Indisputable Era, the Indisputable Age, the Indisputable Years. I don't know. But ultimately, cool, but you're just doing what people have already done. You're a cover band at that point, Are you going to do anything unique, anything new, anything different? There is something to be said about just doing what other people do, just a little bit different, to just not thinking and just saying, this is what the people want, this is what the people are going to get. My version of Undisputed Era in AEW. And I'm just kind of like, well, okay. No hate to Kyle O'Reilly, though. Get that cake. Get that guap. You get paid to show up, man. Show up. Matt Sydal, Russell Wardlow, if you want to call that a wrestling match. He basically just got powerbombed a bunch of times. Shawn Spears was outside the ring, told Wardlow to stop it, that, they don't get paid by the hour just to pin him, which he did. Then he hit Matt Sydal with a chair, and Wardlow, again, looked disturbed by this. Then Shawn Spears got on the phone and was talking to Max. I hate Shawn Spears. I hate Shawn Spears. I hate everything involving Shawn Spears. Can we please shoot Shawn Spears out of a goddamn cannon into the Atlantic Ocean or whatever ocean is more polluted? I want him to pop his head up and there's like a 6-pack of Budweiser hanging around his neck or some shit, like a goddamn fish. Fuck Shawn Spears. Okay? For some reason, we're having a Ty Conti Penelope Ford submission match on Rampage. And I was like, what? What? Excuse me? Where was this feud? Is this from the pages of Dark and Dark Elevation? Which one, Dark or Dark Elevation? Why in the world are we wasting any time on Tay Conti versus Penelope Ford in a submission match? Look, man, Booker of the Year, do your thing, boy. You got the guap, you got the money from TNT. Go ahead and do your thing, man. Do your thing. Now, Malachi Black, he's doing creepy stuff. He says that foundations need ideals, and that accepting violence is a part of humanity, and that the human race is the most destructive species on Earth, and that you have to place the house above everything. The house is bigger than you. The house is bigger than them. The house is bigger than everything. And the house always wins. And this vignette, he has tarot cards, and he's walking through like this chapel, and he's covered in black, and he got the corruption in his face, and he spits into the face of the new recruit. Everybody already knew what it was. It was completely spoiled. It's Brody King from Ring of Honor. Now, there was enough thread in here for you to come up with Brody King, because Brody King's whole thing was violence unlimited. And when Malachi Black said accepting violence is part of humanity and that humans are the most destructive species on Earth, that fits right into what Brody King was doing in Ring of Honor, you know, which is why I'm glad I was watching Ring of Honor. Brody King is cool. You know, I don't have a problem with Brody King. The problem is that Brody King is a big guy in a light heavyweight company. You know, he could become Lance Archer real quick, you know, and I don't want that to be. I don't want that to be. And also, Brody King and Malachi Black have similar look, except for he looks like a much, much bigger Malachi Black. It's like when Mario eats the mushroom, like womp, womp, womp. And, you know, Malachi Black is instantly Brody King, you know. But it looked like a great tag team. The tag team, they look like guys that would be partners. They look like guys who would hang out with each other. You know, tatted up dudes. That's awesome. I don't got no problem with that. I ain't against that. I'm against Malachi Black being in a tag team because I don't think that's what he should be doing. But I do like that he's forming a cult or an organization of some sort, which is what I wanted him to do, which is good. So speaking of him having a partner or an associate or something to that effect, the Varsity Blondes cut a promo. Julia Hart, of course, was not there. She got spit all in her face. She took it in the face so well. She needed a break. She needed some time off. So Griff Garrison, the most creative wrestler looking motherfucker walking the face of the earth, called Malachi Black a coward. And Pillman was like, wait a minute, buddy. Let's settle down here, man. And he was like, screw you, Pill. And he shoved him and said, if you don't want to fight this guy, I will. And it says, next week, Malachi Black, I'm going to break your jaw. It's becoming exactly what I said, right? He's just going to kick this guy in the face. And Pillman's going to fight him. He's going to get kicked in the face. Then what? The tag team match where we bring in Brody King in order to beat these guys up. And after we see Malachi Black beat both of them by himself. Weird. Now, could it be that Griff Garrison nearly wins and then Brody King has to come in and save Malachi Black? It's possible. It would make Malachi Black look terrible, though, that he would need help in order to beat Checks Notes Griff Garrison. But I did like Griff Garrison shoving Brian Pillman. Not because I think it leads to some kind of breakup, but because I like when characters and when guys are doing their own thing. And it seems here that Griff Garrison was going rogue. That, you know, Pillman was trying to be reasonable. But Griff is like, nah, we're not being reasonable about this. Julia is our girl. You know, that's our sister. He disrespected her. I'm going to beat his ass. And I'm like, yeah, I respect Griff Garrison for that. I also respect Brian Pillman for that too, because he's like, look, don't get too riled up. Don't get too emotional. You get too emotional, you're going to make a mistake. And Griff Garrison don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear that. He disrespected Julia. I'm going to beat his ass. Okay. They're trying to find new reasons to warm Malachi Black back up. They got to warm him up. All right. Okay. Whatever. Eddie Kingston challenged those guys to a 10-man tag, and I just couldn't care. I was like, oh my God. Guys being 2.0 and Daniel Garcia and two other guys. There's probably be the Acclaimed. And I'm just guessing. I'm recording this without knowing Rampage results or anything like that. I'm going to guess it's the Acclaimed. And it's, to me, I was just kind of like, I like Eddie Kingston hanging out with Santana and Ortiz. That's a cool gang right there, you know? Like, those dudes seem like they would hang out together. Those are the best teams, when those dudes feel like they will hang out together. I don't know that Santana and Ortiz will hang out with Penta and Phoenix. Not that they're, you know, Penta and Phoenix aren't, you know, tough guys or cool guys or whatever. I just don't see them fitting in with Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz. But it makes sense from storyline perspective because Santana and Ortiz, Eddie Kingston is friends with Penta, you know, Phoenix is Penta's brother. That makes sense. Just a 10-man tag idea, though, makes me just want to, you know, sell a kidney. I just can't believe we're doing this. That's too many bodies, man. That's too much. It's too much. Too many 6-man tags. Too many 10-man tags. Too many 8-man tags. You're killing me, Petey. You're killing me Literally, you're killing me. You're murdering me out here. Serena Deeb versus Hikaru Shida. And I like this match. I like their work. And they didn't need an hour. You know, Deeb can do some good stuff. You know, there's nothing super spectacular about this match. But there was nothing really all that bad about it either. You know, I thought the match was very solid. All of the matches that they had been very solid. I think they had matches better than this one. But this one was still pretty good. She does show some good personality here. She showed some fire. Deeb is, you know, really good at being a tactician. And in typical tactician fashion, she created a situation to give herself an unfair advantage. And it blew up in her face. Okay, cool. You know, good finish. Good match. It was what? 10 minutes maybe? All right, cool. That's solid. Solid stuff. The main event of the show, MJF and Dante Martin for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Not the ring, the ring. Okay? So MJF gets on the microphone, says that the best Punk could do in 10 minutes was talk about sports teams, which I clapped for that. MJF says that CM Punk shouldn't be in title contention because he's had a bunch of unimpressive matches or underwhelming matches against underwhelming talents. You know, I was like, okay, you know, kind of a good point. But he did beat Darby. He beat Darby. Darby's a legit opponent. I wish Hobbs would be considered a legit opponent, but he's not, unfortunately. Because when's the last time he was on this television screen? But then he says that it doesn't make you the best in the world. It makes you the new Ryback. And I was like, yep. Here we go again. Put the MagMongoSlade podcast. They're doing the bingo cards on Twitter. I think it's kind of interesting. It's you know, it's a fun gimmick. I don't mind fun gimmicks from wrestling podcasts. But they didn't put WWE reference on the bingo card. That would be the first thing I would put on the fucking bingo card for AEW Dynamite. You know, it would be WWE reference. Because you know you're getting one. You know you're getting one. So there it goes. Ryback. So I'm sure Ryback, dumbass, about to be out here tweeting up a storm about how he's the most talked about guy who ain't wrestled a match in 5 years or some horse shit. Anything to keep that scumbag from crawling from the sewer like he's something important. Fuck Ryback. All right, anyway. Dante Martin. Dante Martin is a physical marvel. The kid can really jump. He's a jumping motherfucker. You know, he is. He's a jumping guy. He likes to jump. And I wish they would teach him how to wrestle. Like, did Dante Martin not watch the first match on this show? Again, the match was an hour. I get it. He's a young man. He's probably playing Call of Duty, Need for Speed, or something like that, and not paying that shit any attention. But he should have been watching at least 5 or 6 minutes of that match to learn how to work. Because all Dante Martin does is jump. All he does is jump. All his high spots are jumps. They're all jumps. It's all jumping all the time. And I'm like, okay, this was the only match on the show where all that jumping took place. That makes it a little bit special. But at the same time, I feel like we've seen all this shit already. You know, we've seen you jump and do flippity-doos already. We've already seen some of this stuff. Not to mention, you're botching quite a bit of it. His shooting stars press thing, where he ate most of the floor. Oh, but his knee clipped MJF, and we're supposed to act like that was the intention of the move. It's for his one leg to clip MJF's face. All of a sudden, and he flapjacked himself on the floor. That was intended. That was the intended way that move was supposed to go. Like, no. It's nonsense. The kid is an incredible athlete. Grab a hold of him and make him work a fucking Young Lions style match where he can't do anything but throw punches and do a drop kick and maybe a Boston Crab. Then once he gets through about 4 months of that, he can do all the flippity doos he wants. Because then he'll be much more well-rounded. He needs to work a Young Lions match. They need to send him to New Japan. You got a relationship with New Japan, right? Send him to New Japan. And forced him to learn not submission style, but a ground-based style where he can pop people more. Like, he can already pop folks because he can do this physical. He's a physical marvel. But if you can pop people even more, if you did not need to do that in order to pop them, it could be a special treat rather than this is what he does, Because then look at Rey Mysterio, look at Jeff Hardy. I mean, there's only so much of that shit you're going to be able to do. And then eventually people are going to be like, okay, we've seen this shit already. I don't want that to happen to the young dude, I want people to be, mystified by the things that he can do, kind of like Rey Mysterio was. Like when I used to see Hoovy and Psychosis and all those guys. But you would watch them and they would do, arm drags and they would hold a move. They would grab a submission hold, all that kind of stuff too. And then out of nowhere, they, as the match built, they start flying. But Dante Martin is like Speed Racer from the word go. And it's like, okay, he only knows one speed, which means he can only have one kind of match, which makes him a very limited performer. And it doesn't need to be that way. He's in a good position at his age. He needs to be slowed down and learned and taught how to work. At the end of the match, though, Dante Martin hits his finish, the springboard moonsault thing. MJF is laid out flat as a pancake. Ricky Starks comes out to the ring. Remember that guy? Remember Ricky Starks? He still exists. He puts MJF's foot on the bottom rope. Saves MJF. Then he backs away. He's like, oh, no. Taz is doing a good job on commentary of selling that he doesn't like Dante Martin. And really hoping Dante Martin doesn't win. MJF takes advantage of Dante Martin being distracted. Salt of the earth armbar. Dante taps out. MJF, for the third time in 3 years, is the Dynamite Diamond Ring holder. He's got 3 rings, 0 belts. 3 rings, 0 belts. So what does this tell me? This tells me that MJF is in the same position he was in last year. Just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. He's a little bit better than he was last year. And a little bit better than a year before that. I think they're trying to make him a sort of attraction without a title, which is useful. You need a useful attraction without a title. MJF could be that guy, but keeping him in that space for 3 years with very little growth and only spurts of him wrestling top names, it's, I'm not going to say they're ruining him or whatever. I'll just say that the growth has been minimal when it comes to MJF as a character or MJF booking. He's going to get the big matches with Moxley or Jericho or Punk or whatever, but he's never going to really be allowed to break through because Hangman didn't have to go through all this. Hangman didn't have to beat Christian or Jericho or anybody like that in order to become the world champion. He had just wait around for a while. I think what was the highest level opponent Hangman beat en route to becoming world champion? Brian Cage? I'm talking like in a singles match. He didn't have a big blood feud with anybody who really mattered and got over. I think Brian Cage might have been legitimately the highest rated opponent that he fought and won. And that was at the time, and Brian Cage's not even on TV right now. Look at the resume of MJF in comparison to the resume of Hangman Page. It doesn't compare. Hangman Page had like 1 match with Jericho, and that was it. And he didn't really have runs with big top guys like MJF did. And he ended up being the world champion, which is very, very strange. A very strange decision making. But, to each their own. Now, FTR come out there to celebrate the three-peat. Of course, the lights go out. It's Darby and Sting! It's Sting! Greatest in the history of our sport. They still get beat down because Sting is 62. And then MJF looks to have, the advantage. CM Punk runs to the ring, gets a monster reaction. The crowd sing his song. The heels flee, as they should. He got a chair or a bat or something. He immediately makes the 6-man tag challenge. Sting, CM Punk, and Darby Allin versus MJF and FTR next week. And I was just like, man, they love their tag team matches, don't they? They love these tag team matches. Now, I'll give him credit. I'll give Tony Khan credit for utilizing the tag team matches to make certain combinations special. Combinations happen. You got Sting and CM Punk as partners. That's cool. You know, is it enough to intrigue me to care about that match? Not really. But it's a cool visual. It's a cool, and then for Darby to be there, you know, rubbing elbows with both of these guys, is very cool. You know, it is very cool. It's nice. You know, it's a nice visual. It's a nice idea. It's nice to be able to say, you know, CM Punk and Sting are going to share a ring as tag team partners. That ought to be very nice. And Sting is going to get the hot tag, and he's going to go in there and clean house. It's going to be very nice. But I'm burnt out on 6-man tags, 8-man tags, 10-man tags, hour-long matches. And there ain't even been that many of hour-long matches. But we don't need to have that many for people to get tired of them. The show in and of itself, the hour-long Broadway, of course, was very good. Shida and Deeb was very good. The rest of the show was rubbish. Okay, Dante Martin flipping all over the place is not interesting to me at all. I don't care about that, and I knew MJF was just going to win. Or Dante Martin could have won, but it was probably going to be because somebody else cheated him. They're not as much as, you know, they claim they want to make fans happy. How much would it have been really put over Dante Martin if he'd have won over MJF? And a surprise, you know, if he would have shocked MJF and beat him. Yeah, it would have been a big win for Dante Martin. It would have been huge, you know. Well, of course, you know, you're trying to build MJF as a guy who can fight CM Punk, so you're not going to do that. So that's why they didn't do it. But they just once again put Dante Martin in a position where he can do all the flips and all the dives and everything, but he loses in the end. And now he's going to teeter-totter right back down the card, you know, to be seen in a month or two while they rehab him on Dark and Dark Elevation. Whatever. Overall, though, I give the show a passing grade because at least most of the show was good. Considering most of the show was a 1-hour match and then Deeb and Shida. The Kazoo stuff with Young Bucks and Adam Cole made me want to throw myself down the stairs. I hate those guys. I legit hate those guys. All three of them. You know, Bobby Fish, he's, you know, his Captain Morgan looking ass he's just hang out on the sideline. He's not involved with this yet. But Adam Cole being involved with this stuff is disgusting. And it's killing any interest I've had in Adam Cole and anything that I wanted to see him do in AEW. I'm not interested. This sucks. What he's doing with the Super Click is garbage. This forever feud with the Best Friends is garbage. It is refuse. Okay? This is not good. It ain't good. His promos aren't even good. There's nothing about it good. The Wardlow crushing guy stuff is okay. If it didn't involve Shawn Spears, I probably would be more excited for it. That's about it, you know. Nothing else on the show really is worth remembering. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, donate. Help the channel grow in any way you can. I appreciate everybody who helped me get to 1,000. Let's push for 1,000 more. Thank you guys one more time, and I'll talk to you guys later.
I can